Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Coach Matt over here, Primal Athlete Training Center, www.primalatc.com. Guys, we're getting down to the end of indoor track season. We've got the New England Championship happening this Saturday and the National Indoor Championship happening next Saturday. So we're right to the very end. Outdoor season starts up in a few weeks, and this is the time of year where the views of all the YouTube videos go up, people who subscribe to the newsletter go up, people that visit my website go up. This is really when track and field takes off. And what I wanted to do today is this. I'm going to try not to make this a rant, but what I wanted to do today is just kind of talk to the coaches out there who maybe have only been coaching for a year or two. Maybe they've been kind of thrown into a situation where they're not too comfortable or too used to, being a track coach or being a head coach. So I want to talk to you a little bit about team size and quality versus quantity. To give you a little bit of a background, one of the things, the biggest misnomers of Primal, of the gym that I own, is that we only work with the best athletes in the state. And the reason why the gym is successful is because we work with the best athletes in the state. And that could not be further from the truth. The reason why this gym is so successful, the reason why we have a track record of producing, state champions and all-staters from all different sports, not just track and field, but all different sports, is because we only work with athletes who want to be here. The athletes that don't pan out are the ones whose parents make them come here, and they just don't have the heart and they don't have the dedication to do it. The ones that think this is going to be for them but aren't mature enough to really step up and show up when they need to and aren't grown up enough to make this a commitment in their life. We don't want to be the number one commitment in your life, but we want to be somewhere in the top 10 at least. After you do school and homework and sports and family, other things that might be going on in your life, religion, we want to be up there as well. We want to be a place where you know that you have to come to when you're supposed to be here. And that's the reason we've been so successful, is because I could have 100 athletes in here training and have 50 or 60 athletes be kind of half-assing it and not showing up and not wanting to be a part of this team, not wanting to be a part of this facility and put in the effort. But instead, the way that everything on my website is worded, the way that everything in our pamphlets is worded, the way that the membership agreement that the parents and the athletes have to sign is worded, every time I speak and every time I put a video out like this, I make sure that the people checking me out understand that this is not a place for goof-offs. This is a place for serious athletes that want to get better. And coaches, what this has to do with you is that you need to do this with your track and field teams. Way too many times I see these large teams with minimal coaching where you've got a bunch of goof-off, jackass kids that don't even want to be there. They show up because they want to talk to the girls. They show up because their friends do it. They show up and they don't have any intention of actually being a track and field athlete. They just want an extra school activity, an extracurricular activity to do. And you end up wasting your time working with these kids. You end up not spending enough time with the athletes that really need your attention and the athletes that really matter. So what I need you guys to do is this. Take a look at some of the teams in your area that do really, really well with minimal participation on the team. Give you an idea. An athlete that I coach, who's been in a lot of my videos, he's done really, really, really well for himself in the state of Rhode Island and New England. He and one other member of his team were the only two people on their team this season to score points in the state championship meet. He got first place in the shot put. His teammate got second in the high jump, second in the long jump, and second in the 55-meter. They ended up getting fourth place. It's the highest place that this team has ever gotten in the state. And it was two people that scored all those points to get them there. A few years ago, I think it was last season or the season before, we had a team that had 9 athletes. Those 9 athletes were phenomenal. It was a school that traditionally has a good track team, but really the coach was blessed and lucky enough to have some fantastic athletes. They ended up, I think, either tying or breaking the national record in one of the I don't know if it was a distance medley relay. It was one of the sort of longer distance relays, like the 4x8 or the 4x4, something like that. And they ended up beating teams that were twice the size of them, 3 times the size of them, because they kept getting first and second place in every single event. And 9 boys, ended up winning the Rhode Island State Track and Field Championship for indoor. And it goes to show you coaches out there that it's about quality over quantity. Now, I know what a lot of you are saying. A lot of you out there are saying, well, track is a non-cut sport. I'm not allowed to cut kids. I'm not allowed to just tell kids that they're not good enough. I'm not supposed to cut people. You don't have to cut people. As a business, I'm not allowed to refuse anybody walking in my door. I cannot discriminate against people based on who they are, and based on their size or based on their attitude. If they want to come here, if they want to pay the membership, if they want to try it out, they have to be able to try it out. That's the law. And that might be your law at your school too. But there's absolutely nothing stopping you from reading the Riot Act the first week of practice and saying, look, we are only going to work and we're only going to spend time working with dedicated athletes. We are only going to take the time to help those people that show up every day, that give 110%. If you're just going to here to goof off, if you're here just to do a few, just to bullshit with your friends, if you're not going to show up every day, if you're going to blow this off because you and your friends want to go to the corner store and, get a slushie after school, this isn't going to be for you. There's the door. Don't let it hit you where the good Lord split you. Okay, that's the way that you need to be if you want to have a successful team. If you are lucky enough to have a lot of coaches, maybe you don't have to be that way. Maybe you can have a kid stick it out for 2 years before he's interested. Maybe there will be 1 or 2 diamonds in the rough. But if you want to be a successful coach, if you want to be a successful team, I'm not telling you to give up on people. I'm not telling you to, kick kids off the team. I'm not telling you to be a mean jerk of a coach. But what I am telling you to do is to focus your attention on the athletes who are committed, dedicated, hardworking, show up every single day, and are going to give their entire heart and 110% effort for you at every practice. Focus on those athletes. Those are the ones that are going to pan out. In my experience, it's very rare that you're going to get a goofball, goof-off kid that does not respect the sport and does not respect you, who's going to be a great point scorer and be a team leader. Those two things do not go together. Take it from me, that's what's made this business so successful, is that hardworking, dedicated kids come here and they become state champions. Hardworking kids come in here and they commit themselves and they dedicate themselves to the training. Their attitude improves. They're willing to put in the effort. They're willing to give 100% every time they step foot in the door. And those kids who start off very average and mediocre athletes become some of the best athletes in this state. Team leaders, team captains, all-state athletes in whatever sport they do. And that's the way that you need to run your track and field team as well. You guys need to make sure that you spend the time and spend the effort with the athletes who are going to reciprocate that same respect to you and are going to work their asses off to give you the top potential that they are able to give. Those are the athletes that will pan out over time. Those are the athletes that will make you a successful coach. I'm not saying that you should give up on people. The exact opposite. You may have somebody who just is not good. You may have somebody that you know is just never going to be that great distance runner or that great thrower or that great hurdler or jumper. But if they show up every single day, if they dedicate themselves and commit themselves to it, guaranteed they will be the team leader that pushes other people to become the best. They will be the team captain that helps you out. They will be the person who respects you and brings up the entire morale for the rest of the team. So just take these as a few points, especially for the new coaches out there, for the coaches who don't have a lot of experience or maybe think that they have way too many kids or too much on their plate. Focus on the kids who are going to focus on you. Give to the kids who are going to give to you. And the kids who are there just to screw around, hey, I wouldn't blame you if you told them that they had to leave. Okay, we've done it plenty of times here at Primal. There's 2 or 3 examples that pop into my head of kids who signed up, told me they were going to be the most dedicated kid I'd ever seen, and started blowing off these training sessions left and right because they wanted to go, hang out with their friends, or, it was summertime, so they were at someone's pool and just didn't bother showing up. Those are the kids I've shown the door, kicked out of the gym, called their parents, gave them their money back, and said, thanks for trying it out, but no thanks. That's the way you've got to be sometimes. If you want to be successful, you got to make sure that you're putting the energy in the right spot. You've got to make sure that you're giving the kids who need the most amount of effort, and the kids who are giving you the most amount of effort, the most amount of your effort. All right, guys, so hopefully this helps you out. You know, having successful smaller teams is sometimes the way to go. That's the way my college team was. A lot of successful teams just have a few kids on there that just kick ass and are really dedicated, really hard-working, committed kids. And you know what? If that's the way you set up your team, I guarantee that you will have more success than if you had a team triple that size with a bunch of goof-offs and a bunch of jerks that just, aren't there to commit and dedicate themselves to you. All right, guys. Hope you have a good night. Hope you have a great end or beginning of track season. Any questions, as always, let me know. That's where this question came from. Somebody left it on a YouTube video, and I wanted to answer it for them here. So keep those questions rolling in. We'll keep getting them answered for free on the website. Hope to talk to you guys soon.